Hey guys, good morning. It's Ryan here with our Indiana home here in, well, it's my garage, so I would say beautiful Bloomington, Monroe County. Today, we got this guy. We're going to get it unpacked. What I have here is a 34-ton full beam log splitter by Champion. A lot of things to share about this, and hopefully some more videos as we move forward. But today is going to be all about just getting it unpacked and putting it together. Just a couple notes, something that you might want to learn from my experience. I had seen a video where someone had theirs in a crate, and so that was my hope when I went to the store, purchased this from Home Depot. They tried to give me one that was all put together, and so my little pickup truck here does not have a ball that I could tow it. This is towable. So they did have one in a crate, which was awesome. So got it loaded back here into my trusty 20-year-old Ranger. Happy to say it's been sitting for 2 or 3 weeks and it's not all the way on the floor yet. So that excited about that, but ready to get that off of there and put together. It does weigh about 650 pounds, kind of fully put together. So that's just something else kind of to note. So hopefully I'm going to be unloading this piece by piece. I think my buddy Bob is coming over later today, going to give me a hand with that. And so we'll try to highlight, some of the most interesting things about getting this out, but otherwise we'll just kind of quick speed view this through. So thanks for joining us. More videos on the log splitter as we go, but we'll get started here. Hey guys, so got the top off here. One other thing I wanted to note for you was if you do get the log splitter fully assembled, make sure you grab your user's manual from the front desk. So don't forget that. That's going to be nice for you. But got the top off here. Want to take a look inside with you. So you can see how everything's kind of packed together in here. And as you'll note in some of the other reviews and just instructions, it does come with all the fluids that you need for it, the hydraulic fluid and the engine oil. So that's a pretty good view of what you're going to kind of get from the inside. So pretty well nicely put together, so really like that. Alright, so I'm ready to start getting everything out. One of the other things I wanted to share, the reason I wanted to get this in the crate was one, I just wanted the experience of putting it together. But secondly, the reviews on this Champion log splitter are fantastic. They're great. Almost a good majority of the negative reviews actually were that it was put together incorrectly at the store. So I wanted to eliminate that process of my experience with the log splitter. So just another thing you could learn from me and my experience and what I've seen doing my research with this Champion log splitter. So let's get this out of the box. Most of it out. Big parts are still inside here. As you could see, the engine was pretty heavy. that you probably could handle that yourself. I just noticed that the towing bar is still in there, so I'm going to get that pulled out, and then I'm going to take this front part of the crate off and see if I can get the hydraulic tank out by myself, and that should just leave us the I-beam and get a little bit of help for that. Alright, so hydraulic tank, also very heavy, but doable. All we got left here is the I-beam, and I'm going to get some help with that and start putting things together. Okay, I just wanted to give you a quick overview of what everything looks like outside of the box here. So, instruction manual comes complete with a funnel, some tape, a couple other things in there. Got our bolts and some hose clamps. These are going to be the support to kind of catch the wood once it splits. Got some fenders. Again, these are pretty nicely packaged. Even got some wrapping still on our reflectors. As we said earlier, kind of all the hydraulic oil and engine oil and things that you need. Here are the wheels. Tow bar, the hitch attachment and the stand. Here's the engine. And then the hydraulic tank. And it does look like there's, I left these on, looks like there's a little bit of grease or fluid in those. So just going to leave those on until we kind of get the hoses attached and everything kind of put together. And as noted, this is still in the box here. So I'm not going to attempt that by myself. Okay, so step one is to install the tow bar. And you can see here it's referencing some parts. You might think they're in this package, but they're not. They're already attached to the hydraulic oil tank. So we can see over here. So the bolts, the nuts, and the washers are there already, so we're going to go ahead and take care of getting the tow bar attached. Okay, so you can see we got it on there. Just a couple notes that might help you out. I used a 19mm socket, and you're going to need some type of a wrench to stop the head of these bolts from turning while you're doing that. And the only other thing I could see that could give you a little bit of trouble here is you could probably put this on the wrong side. So just kind of make a note. It's going to go opposite of the Champion logo there on the back. And it's going to kind of come out the same side as the bracket for the I-beam, and you should see the filter for the hydraulic fluid here. Step two is to install the fenders. You can see it's telling us we need the M10 × 25 bolt, which do come in the package up here in the top corner. Does make a note here in the instructions that the safety reflector should be facing the back of the hydraulic tank. And again, that's going to be the, the direction where if someone were following you and you were towing this, the reflector would be visible. The only other thing I could see here that might trip you up, the instructions kind of read attach a bolt, and it looks like there should be two. So that's probably what we're going to go with, and we'll just take a look and see how this turns out. Hey guys, just a couple notes here for you. So these fenders, they're going to attach in two spots, obviously up here in the top spot, and then this is probably just made universally just for ease for the manufacturer. So there's a couple of holes here for a bolt to go through, but there's only two spots where the fender attaches. So just know that you're not missing something. And then last thing, these M25s, they've got a nut and a washer, and then it's got a lock washer on it, okay? And those are all going to go on the same side. So they're all going to go on the nut side. So you might think, well, hey, I want to kind of split that and put the lock washer over here where the head of that bolt is, and the washer on the other side. They're all going to kind of come to the same side. So you'll see that when we get all done. So I'm going to get this other fender put on. We'll hand tighten those guys and then give you a look at what the finished product is. Okay, so we got those all hand tightened up. There's the top one. See kind of underneath there where the second one goes on. We even got a little bit of plastic here on the reflector. Take that off. And again, the other side. Let's see where both of those bolts attach. And get the plastic off of this one as well. And there we go. Fenders are on. All right, here we are. We're on to step 3. Here's the instructions. It talks about threading this castle nut, and there's also a pin in there to use. Those are already on, I've noticed, so we're going to take those off. And of course everything's kind of greased up pretty well, so you're going to need a rag or two. Hey guys, a couple things I thought might be helpful here. So this is the cotter pin, and it was already on the axle with the castle nut. Never seen one of those before, but pretty clear why it's called a castle nut. So that was really neat. Just a couple other things to point out that you might find helpful. The instructions do mention, make sure that the air valve is on the outside, and then you take these caps off, and didn't see this mentioned in the instruction, but there's a tapered bearing in one of these, and so that will well, just kind of fell out actually, and sets in on the other side the bearing in there as well. So as you put those back together, you need to get the tapered bearing in there. It just wasn't mentioned in the instructions, so just wanted to point that out. Also to note, I'm supposed to have an axle cap, and I don't have an axle cap on either side. So when I get the other wheel on, I'll kind of show you. And I'm going to just give the company a call. Everything I've read is that their customer service is great to work with, so we're going to give that a shot. Okay, so this was just a little bit tougher for me to figure out. Again, the instructions weren't quite as clear, and I am missing a cap on the end here, but I want you to see this castle nut. And when you get it on just right and all the way through, that cotter pin, there's a hole in the axle there that it should slide through all the way. And then I also just gave the wheels a tug to see if there was any type of lateral movement in there, and they're on there pretty good. So feeling pretty good about that. On to the next step. All right, here we are, step 4, install the support leg. Hopefully that's pretty easy. Okay, step 5 here is to install the beam. So probably gonna likely need a couple people here to do that, and I think if Bob helps me get the I-beam out of the truck, we'll just use Bob's help to do that. So just a couple of a bolt and a pin to get put in here. So the large bolt here on top is what we had to get in there, and I did not have a socket big enough for that, so I just used a wrench on both sides, and then this is where the pin went in. Just to get around to the other side here. See where the pin comes in, and that's how it hinges, to go from vertical to horizontal. We were leaking just a little bit of hydraulic fluid from it, so just kind of prop those hoses up in the meantime. So just note as you're transitioning the I-beam out, you may have a little bit of leakage. All right, next step here is to install the engine. I'm going to place it on the mounting platform. Looks like we need some of these M1045 bolts and washers that are included here. And looks like if you're using an impact wrench, you've got a guide there, or just get them fully tightened plus a quarter turn. So let's see how this goes. Okay, so this proved to be just a little bit more difficult than I anticipated. So the kind of hard to see without some light, but the anchoring bolt right here, these went on pretty easy access, but the back two, man, they were really difficult. I can't even hardly see them down in there. Anyway, just right around in here, I had to kind of drop it in there, and then on the other side as well. That one might be a little easier to see. Kind of from up top here, it's kind of hiding out under those wires there. See if I kind of get my finger under there. Point to it. Yeah, good job. But that's about like what it was working on. So my 17 millimeter socket was great to kind of get those tightened. I had to run and get I used a 5/8 wrench. And what I had to do is just kind of lay it all the way across just to get that top bolt from spinning. That was the only thing I could kind of reach, and I had to get it, this first one over here, from this direction. The other one wasn't that difficult from over there, but a little more difficult than I thought. The other thing that kind of gave me some pause here was the oil dipstick is right there. And I was able to kind of get in there and get it open, put it back, but not easy for, you know, big hand, big wristed fella to do. So probably not the greatest design for that, but looks like the engine is mounted as it should be. Well, little sidetrack here and some good news. I was able to find the axle cap. They were actually in the bag that came with my instructions. Just kind of had misplaced those, so did not need to call customer service, and just do a little soft mallet to bake those guys in. I did notice that the pin that went through was maybe a teeny bit long and seemed to bend just a little bit as I put both of these in on both sides, but it went in with no problem. All right, step 7 is install the hoses. Looks like there's 3 separate hoses here, and if you're like me, I've never done any type of hydraulic hose before, so this should be interesting, if not entertaining, but we're going to get there, and hopefully you'll learn a little bit from me on the way. Alright, thought I would go ahead and break this down since there are 3 of these. This first one's the high pressure hydraulic hose. Comes out here at the bottom of the lever, and I really kind of had to snake it around a little bit just to get it out of the way from the split control lever, so I didn't want that in the way when we're cutting stuff. Down here, it attaches here on the back. The manual says that you're going to need a 27 millimeter wrench, which I do not have. So I just used an adjustable wrench, and see it put a nice little scratch in the nut there, trying to get it tight. So hopefully that'll work well. We'll just keep an eye on it. Hose 1 ready to go. Alright guys, just next up close here on the hoses was just a pretty simple suction hose with a couple of hose clamps on each end. You just need a screwdriver to do those, and just a one little tip, there's a little red cover there off of the hydraulic tank, so make sure you take that off first. All right, step 8 here, install the log catchers. So we got a large one and a small one, and we're going to be using the remainder of what we've got here with our nuts and bolts and washers. So let's get this going. Okay, the large log catcher is on. There are 4 bolts, and there are a couple of lock washers and flat washers. And just as a reminder, here it goes: bolt, lock washer, flat washer, in that order. And it's just basically it's screwing right into the IV there. So short one shouldn't be no big deal. Just got a couple of bolts here on the top. Let's get that going. Okay, we got the small log catcher on. This one's got a couple of nuts of note. It's got a hex head on it, and again on the bottom here, just as a reminder, it's going to go nut, lock washer, and then flat washer. I actually did that backwards, so I took it off and put them back on. I say it doesn't matter, but a little bit of a rule follower. The other thing that's kind of interesting here is that the log catcher, you could put it on where it kind of looks like it's going to come upward, and the instructions are specifically that it should go again underneath the I-beam, so kind of down there, and it should be a little more flat. The book says downward slope, but I would say flat. I think they're trying to make sure that you don't put it on opposite so that it's going upright. As far as tools go here, you're going to need that hex wrench. It's a size 6 is what I used, and that 17mm socket. Hey guys, Ryan here. I'm all done. Probably took me about an hour and a half. Book time says allow for about an hour. I'm a little bit slower, kind of an instruction guy. If you got a lot of experience, so we don't have any experience at all, again, this should be something you're capable of doing. At this point, we just have to add the fluids, oil, hydraulic fluid, which it all comes with, and then some gas. So we'll do some more videos as we break it in, and then probably some type of a review later on down the line as we've had a chance to use it, and then also a video just tell you just why I purchased it and what made me buy this rather than something else. So again, thank you so much for joining us. Please hit like, subscribe, ring the bell. Some of you asked, what does that mean? It just means when you're a subscriber and I put a new video out, you'll get a notification of that. I've also heard, hey, where are these the notes that you referenced? So just below the video, typically on the right-hand side, if you click a little down arrow, you should kind of get a little more of some notes that I'll add in there from time to time. So again, thank you for joining us. So excited about this log splitter. So, all right, here we go from Bloomington, Indiana. Beautiful Bloomington, Monroe County. So thanks again. Bye.